What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beyond Ordinary podcast, where we connect with great people doing great things to inspire you to do the same. I have a very special guest with me today. She is the first woman, the first Black woman to come on the podcast, my good sister, Lisa J. Stocks. How you doing today, Lisa?
I am doing good, Miles. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on with you today.
Of course, of course. She is a stock trader. She also has a channel that talks about, cryptocurrencies and everything. So if you're trying to get right and trying to make some money, go check out her channel. I'm going to leave it down below. And that is a great segue to the first thing that we talked about. She recently got monetized on YouTube. You want to talk about your monetization journey and how that's been?
It's been a long journey. It took me about a year and a half. My story is not like Josh's and other people that you may have had on that got it done in less than 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the subscribers came much more easily than the watch hours, but you had to stick with being consistent, putting out the content and building your community in order to get those watch hours in. So I needed 4,000 watch hours in order to get to this stage. I actually came into when I first started, it was under the old rules of the 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours, 1,000
Mm-hmm.
subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. But
Oh,
then
what's the
it
new
had
rule?
shifted to 500 and 3,000 to get partially monetized. And
Mm.
that came along for me just about 3 weeks ago. And I said, I'm not even going to go for partial. I'm just going to keep on pushing and just go for full. So that's what I did.
Going on, we interrupt this program to bring you the sponsor of this video, which is my multimedia company, SFG Media. So what we do is we increase the brand of content creators and business owners and bring them monthly recurring revenue with short form content. So how do we do that? We have a team of editors that come into your business, they edit all your shorts and they'll distribute them on all platforms. So that's Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And the reason why we do that is because it gives you the most viral potential, the most growth. And if one platform such as TikTok gets banned for whatever reason, then you're on multiple platforms and you're not really boxed in, right? And guess what? The best part is it's all done for you. You don't have to lift a single finger. So then from there, as we're, posting consistent content, building your audience, getting the views, the audience is compounding on itself. That's the top of the funnel. Then we push all those views to the bottom of the funnel, which is your product. So whether that's a coaching call, whether that's a paid community, whether that's an email opt-in, whatever. So that's the bottom of the funnel. And that's how, we bring you your monthly recurring revenue or your email opt-in, whatever the bottom of the funnel looks like for you. And Chris Sane is actually one of my clients and he's been with me for an entire year. So if you want to check out Chris's channel, his Instagram, his YouTube, and see all those shorts, my team did all that. So if you're interested in getting some work done, shoot me an email at m.youngblood@sfgmedia.org. I'll also leave it on the screen for those of you watching this on YouTube. Now, back to the show. Congratulations to all the, aspiring content creators. And, I'm just now starting my podcast. Like, what are some advice that you would give people to get monetized on YouTube?
I would say you definitely need to stay consistent, be in tune with your analytics. And, you know, I'm a person, I'm not going to fight the analytics. I'm going to try to work with them and see what is resonating with people and give them more of that. I know what my demographic is. It's mostly men between, I think, like 35 to 55 years old. And I try to just be in tune with everything. Who is watching? How long are they watching? Which videos or what content is it that really is resonating well? And when I have my lives, how long are they staying? Everything. I just try to be in tune with my analytics and use that to help me and guide me on just trying to build my channel.
Mm-hmm. And then I know we've spoken off the record before about how like you've been kind of introverted and stuff like that, and sometimes you're a little camera shy. So how did you kind of like move past that to be a successful content creator?
Well, I just I think, well, when you're talking about me being shy, it's mostly being live is where my
Live.
obstacle
Okay.
is. But I've never been a faceless channel. I've always been here and I want to connect with the people, but it's a journey in trying to just do all of the elements on trying to be good with your thumbnails and be good with your delivery. And I'm still learning and growing in all of those aspects, and even, working on your sound and your set. I'm trying to just little by little try to improve in all areas.
Yeah, most definitely. Like when I first started this podcast, like I going into it, I thought I was like, oh, you just sit in front of a camera, you interview people. It can't be that hard. You know what I mean? But then I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it right. I want to have like a good setup and stuff like that. And so I had to like get a team. I had to get a podcast editor. I had to get a thumbnail editor. I had to buy like new webcams, mics, all kind of stuff. So like, yeah, like I definitely get it. You have to, but like they say, what you put in is what you're gonna get out. And so far, I've been liking the outputs, so I'm just gonna continue with the inputs. So your channel is mainly about stocks and cryptocurrency. So you want to talk about how you got into that space and what made you want to what got you into like stocks and stuff to begin with. Start there.
Well, I don't do much crypto, unlike
Okay.
you. My portfolio is very small, about maybe less than 5% in crypto. But I wouldn't say. I think what people sometimes ask, like, how did you get into this? And I think that this is something that should be a part of everyone's life. And it was a part of my life. It's just the one thing that I decided to share. I've been working full time since I've been 19 years old, out of necessity. um, you know, out of my circumstances. I was a teenage mom. I just had some things going on. It was time for me. I made the choice to start working full time at that age. And with that, I got into my 401k. And I've always been investing. I wound up having to go to college at night and on the weekends because I was working full time. I've never, since that age, I've always had a full time job. So with that, I was on track with my investing. It wasn't until a few years ago, after getting laid off twice, having to take on a contract role for a year, and I just came to a different mindset of, I want to create something different. I don't know that I want to be working in corporate America until I'm in my 60s and that's it, retire, end of story. I think I want to create a different path for myself. So with that, I changed some things in my life, and then I had some opportunities. I went to FinCon, I've been to VidSummit, and I just decided to build upon my social media, and I started my YouTube channel, and I just decided to share my journey. But it's life that just led to this, and it's just the one thing that I wanted to share. In time, I may create another YouTube channel because I want this one just to be about, investing, saving, and those type of things.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's very powerful that you wanted to create your own lane, and so you started a YouTube channel. That's pretty much what I want to do. I want to create my own lane, and it's so powerful now that we have the internet, and that literally anybody, if you have internet connection on the phone, you could create anything that you want. Especially in media and the art space. I know you just touched on that you went to VidSummit, and I know that's a really big conference. You want to like tell the people what VidSummit is, and then like what some of your takeaways were from that summit.
Well, I don't have all the names of everyone, but Mr. Beast and large content creators are the owners of the Vid Summit, and they bring in all kind of content creators in order to present and have different sessions. It's just a jam-packed 3 days of going to different sessions, hearing from like Myron Goldman and Roberto Blake, and just all the people that I was looking to on YouTube for inspiration, for guidance, as just people that I look to in general, and as well as not just the people that were presenters, the people that were in the audience with me that are, that are also people that I aspire to be like, and are inspiration to me, like Keenan Grace and Larry Jones and so many others. So with that, you come home inspired, you learn so much. I know you do shorts. I was able to go to Jenny's session there. She is like the largest creator. Her shorts get the most views on YouTube. She just, learning how does she go about this, and just hearing her techniques and just just knowing how to build your platform, even if it's not necessarily in my niche. I learned so much from hearing from those people. Like I went to someone's session and their background is around cooking, but just hearing how she built her channel and then branched out to having a Discord and having membership and just having a cookbook, it just inspires me on how I could create my lane in building up my channel and my platform, you know?
That's really cool that you were networking and trying to pull from knowledge from different people that weren't necessarily just in your space. And I think that's a very useful skill to have. Like me and my friends, we always talk about how people are just so close-minded and how like they only listen to people that they either like, or maybe, oh, I'm only going to listen to them because like of their political views or because they look like me or something like that. And so that was good that you were able to kind of still pull information from somebody that might not be doing the same thing that you're doing. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Did you leave VidSummit with any like collaborations or anything? That was going to be my next thing. Was about collaborations. How is collaborating on YouTube been for you?
Well, actually, when I was at VidSummit, I was in a video with Keenan Grace.
Mm.
And just being out there, I went there with the intention of networking and really getting my name out to the other creators that were there. Actually, one of the best conversations I had was outside of my hotel one night. We were just out there for hours and people were passing by. A lot of the attendees were staying in the same hotel. So we were just out there on the patio for hours and just getting into just so much conversations and people were just didn't know what they were walking up to and just getting so much guidance from these creators that have 6, 7, 800,000 subscribers on YouTube just accidentally, you know. So I definitely spent every last second that I could outside of my room just trying to network with people. But I'm sorry, Miles, I forgot the question.
No, it's okay. It was about how collaboration's been on YouTube.
Collaboration. So I went to VidSummit with about a little over 800 subscribers, and by the time I came back, I was over 2,000.
Oh wow,
So, and I
congrats.
know that I have gotten some nice shout outs from larger creators, and I know the power of it. And I appreciate them encouraging people to come over and give my channel a look. You know, just by someone saying good morning to me could pick me up 30 subscribers.
Yeah, definitely collaborations is a major key. I mean, that's pretty much like all my channel is basically because it's a podcast and
Yeah.
I'm a solo host. It's just strictly off of collaborations and I'm just trying to collab with anybody. You know, you can learn so much from people that you just don't even know. And that's probably like the biggest thing. One thing my dad always told me is that like relationships are everything, like just in life and in business, and you just never know who knows who. And just from doing this podcast, like, you know, I go to one of the studios I was shooting at. The owner went to like Spain to go shoot a podcast with this one YouTube, like really big YouTuber that I was trying to get for my short business, and you know, it didn't work out. But like he knew him, and I was just like, oh damn, like he knows him, and so like the degrees of separation between like me and like people that I do want to collab with is just really is shrinking, and it's really cool to see. So which is why like I always like, even if something happens like business wise or personal wise, I just don't take it personal. I'm not trying to burn any bridges because I am not trying to get blacklisted on this internet. Oh, not me, not me. But one thing that you had mentioned earlier is that you are mainly into stocks and not crypto. So like I kind of wanted to know like what's that all about? You know, the percentage gains is all in crypto as opposed to stocks. So
Well, I think it's how much effort and work and charting and responsibility that you want to take on. Like I said, I started off as just a long term investor. Probably a majority of my money was just in a target dated fund, just basic investments until the last maybe about 5 years ago when I decided to take on investing on my own, building different portfolios, because especially at that time is when my eyes became open to I want to retire early. I need to have more money invested. I need to increase my real estate, have more rental properties, have rental income coming in. My mindset shifted, and with that, I I just I do hold, just basically Bitcoin, Ethereum, the bigger cryptocurrencies. But
Hmm.
it's just not for me. I'm more of a ETF, basic blue chip stock investor, and I do some trades, but I don't do large trades that you may be more into in your portfolio that get you
Hmm.
those quick returns. But like I always share with my community, my subscribers, you have to have the mindset and you have to have the knowledge in order to navigate those type of trades. And with investing into ETFs, that's just buy and hold long term. It's an easier avenue, but you can also build wealth in that way. I do both, but most of what I share is, the basic long-term buy and hold investments.
Hmm. Yeah, I just shot a podcast with Larry Jones last week, and he
Mhm.
was just telling me like he's risk off. He's now that he's gotten to a certain age, he's just trying to minimize his risk. Like for me, I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing some really risky plays. Some of which that like are so risky, like I don't even want to tell people until like they actually materialize, or until the time comes because people are gonna say I'm nuts. But yeah, but that's another conversation for another day. But I mean, I'm
Use
26,
Yes,
so
use your stop loss. Have a plan. Don't just jump in, and I think you'll be okay. Yeah, I did a lot on myself this week, but yeah, we don't need to talk about that today.
hey, it's all good. It's all good. Like I got burned so crazy in 2020 and 2021 just doing stupid stuff, and now that I'm a lot older and I've recovered from a lot of those losses. I didn't like, I didn't lose my house. I didn't, lose my apartment and stuff like that. So like, I'm good. But it seems like you're pretty risk off in terms of like you're trying to be in the blue chip stuff like ETFs and stuff like that. You're just trying to, build towards retirement, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it all, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
a very small percentage of crypto in my portfolio. And I don't necessarily have to trade every week, whether it's
Yep.
options or regular, stock trade or crypto trade.
And then one thing that I always ask, especially the stock people, is that a lot of Americans, like 66% of Americans, can't even afford like a $400 emergency. So like, where are you getting this extra like capital to invest, or what advice would you give somebody who probably doesn't have as much excess capital to invest in order to get the ball rolling?
I think that's you have to have your mindset ready from the start. Like I have when my youngest daughter, she's still a teenager, she's still home with me. Uh, I want her to, and I think people get started off in life living above their means. They're earning, they're spending it all. You have to, from the start, allocate money for saving and investing. You have to have an emergency fund. You have to have a plan so that you're not always running yourself into debt every time you need a tire, every time you need the roof is leaking or whatever issue comes up. People run themselves into debt. They're spending every dime. So I try to get that message out. I've had people, I love when older, like a grandma says, I'm going to make my grandkids watch your video, Lisa, because you're telling them not to spend their tax return money. You're telling them they have to allocate a certain percentage out of their paycheck to savings so that they're ready when things come up. And I think that's the biggest issue that a lot of people have is that they're spending it all. And as soon as they start earning more, they're spending more. And they're not preparing themselves for the long term. They're just thinking about today. So I'm in a place now where I am debt free. And when I run into an issue, I may have to tap into my savings and then build it back up again, but I'm not running myself into debt.
Yeah, that's definitely powerful. And
And
I
as far,
definitely,
I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
And as far as investing, I work a lot. I work my full-time job in corporate America. As soon as I'm done with that, I'm off to my evening job. I work a part-time job. I have real estate. I have rental income coming in. So I have
Mhm.
multiple streams of income and I'm always looking to create more. But my part-time job, definitely is there for me to use for investing for myself, investing for my daughter, making sure that whatever I need, I don't have to run into any debt for it. And just everything nowadays is so expensive. Just going to the grocery store, going to the gas station, I don't walk out the door without spending a couple $100. So
No, facts.
it's great to have extra income coming in.
Yeah, definitely. Everything is just so expensive. Every time like I think like, oh, I'm not gonna spend money, I end up spending money. Like
Yeah.
even when you try to like not, it just doesn't work out and everything is expensive, which is why like people just got to get like a side hustle, figure out some way to either pick up a second job, monetize some of the skills that you already have, freelance, get on Fiverr, or do something, because like having, one single minimum wage or slightly above minimum wage job and just trying to work that, with how inflation's going, that's not going to cut it. At least if you want to be financially free, it's not going to cut it. But speaking of financial freedom, you had mentioned that you have rental properties. I didn't know that about you. Can you like talk about that? Like how long you've been in the real estate game?
I just got into it about 4 years ago, and I've been trying. I've been outbid so many times,
Mm,
and then the interest rates and everything that went on, and I'm still looking. I'm ready to move on another property, but it's kind of been at a standstill lately. But
mhm.
I don't have any empty units right now, so I'm happy with that, and definitely looking forward to the day when things are better. I would like to actually be able to increase my properties in my own state in a reasonable amount. I want to be able to get to my properties. I would ideally want them to be here. So we will see, but I'm still looking. Because
So
I
your
thought
rent
that that was going to be my way of being able to leave corporate America.
Really? It
Yeah.
was the real estate, and what
Yeah.
happened with that? Like it sounds like your paradigm has shifted.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. I still think that's going to be the way. It's just I need to increase the amount of properties that I own.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about real estate because I'm gonna send this to my parents. My parents, when I tell you, they talk my ear off about real estate
Yeah.
all the time.
Mhm.
And like for me, I tell them it's like you only have a finite amount of energy, right? And because you only have a finite amount of energy, like I'm trying to put it towards like something, the vehicle that's gonna push me forward the most. And for me, that is my media business, helping YouTubers, and then that's now also a podcast. And so I always tell them like trying to like add real estate is just going to add an extra layer that's gonna take away from what has already been working. And you said, I think it sounds like your property isn't within like driving distance or what,
No, it
or
is. It
oh, it
is.
is.
And I would
Okay.
like the other ones to also be, you know.
So I'm
Yeah.
assuming you're also the property manager too.
Yes, I do. I'm everything. I am the bookkeeper. I am the property manager.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I recently had some work done, and, people are always trying to take these jobs. And I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, I just need you to do this, because I'm not trying to give a percentage of my rent to a property manager right now.
Exactly.
I wear that hat also. And I just have to, I get out there and I do what I can. Anything that I can physically do myself, I'm not one to jump and have to pay for it. Even if it's my takeout food, I'll go pick it up myself. I
Yeah,
don't need to always Uber Eats and Instacart for the groceries. I have to get out there.
literally.
I try to save money, and I try to just look at the big picture. And what I want to do is to not work. And I feel like every time I indulge in those type of things, I'm
Mm-hmm.
taking money out of my pocket that I could use for investing. You ask me where do I find money for investing? I'm frugal.
Yeah, like that's one thing. I think everybody thinks of only one side of the equation where, oh, I need to make more money to have more money, but like you could also decrease your expenses, which
Yeah,
I don't know, to some people that might be hard, to try and
yeah,
decrease your expenses. Like no one wants to, you know, decrease their state of living, especially when you're, young and everybody's going out and you want to go out with everybody and you're trying to build towards something. So you say basically no. That's one thing. Are you familiar with Alex Hormozi and his content?
I'm not. That name
Okay.
doesn't ring a bell.
So he's pretty big on YouTube. He's more about like business content and like helping business owners like basically grow. Like he's like into like private equity. I think that's the correct term, like private equity and acquiring businesses and stuff. And one thing that he always says is like, you got to have that season of no where you just say, basically no to everything. And he says that when you say no to like, going out and stuff, you're essentially saying yes to your business or your hustle or whatever. So to look at it like that. And another thing that I like that he says is that he calls it the season of no. You know what I mean? A lot of people like don't understand that it's just a season. You know what I mean? You don't have
Yeah.
to be frugal your entire life. You don't have to, nickel and dime your entire life. It's just like, I don't know, maybe a year or two, maybe 5. You just got to say no. But in the grand scheme of your entire life, like it's going to be worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. I think I am one, I love holidays, I love gifts and all of that, Easter baskets, birthdays. I love those type of things. But you have to have a balance. I think that people are allocating all of their money to that and then not focusing on investments. My daughter, she has an iPhone, but also every month she's getting, I invest even a fractional share into Apple stock, her VTI, her investments. There's going to be a balance. It's not just going to be all of the fun vacations, going to Six Flags and all that type of thing. I am also going to be focusing on investing and saving and thinking about the future.
Yeah, definitely. Like another, again, back to Alex Hormozi, one thing that he always talks about is that long term outlook. Like a lot of people don't have that long term mindset, and sometimes I have to even check myself. Like now that I started the podcast, I've been checking my analytics every day, multiple times a day, and stuff like that. But I told myself, look, just by the end of the year, my goal is to do 16 podcasts, and I believe you're the 8th one, so I'm like halfway there. So 8 podcasts, and then whatever happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just assess it then. You don't got to be worried about, oh my God, the views are down from yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, I have a long-term time horizon. So I've been trying to train myself to do that. But it's hard. It's like the brain just wants that immediate dopamine, that immediate gratification, and it's so hard to like untrain yourself to do that.
Another tip I would have for you or any new content creator. So that concludes part 1 of my interview with Myles. Head over to his channel for part 2. The link will be in the description. Thanks for watching.